Alright guys, what's up? It is solar collector construction day 2. I'm learning a ton of stuff. I'm making a lot of mistakes, and I'm making this video to share with you the mistakes that I've made so that you can avoid them. So once you've made the outer frame, okay, once that's done, then you need to insulate the box. So that's this like silver stuff right here, okay? And you insulate it with something called polyiso. It's 1 inch thick. The foam is 1 inch thick, and then it's got some like a silver kind of foil paper on both sides. Menards had it for 20 bucks. Home Depot had it for 16 bucks. And if you're smart, you can go and find some product that is damaged at like Home Depot or something. Don't damage it, but find something that already is damaged, and then they will give you a markdown on that usually. So at Menards, they might give you $5 off. At Home Depot, they give me like 50% off. So that's a way to save some money on getting the insulation. So once you get that, you put in the bottom piece, and then you have to cut you have to insulate the sides of the box. So this side, and then both of the ends, like the top and the bottom. Just the inner, you're just insulating the inside of the box. Now the height of the sides of the insulation that you cut should be 4.5 inches, because the 2x6s here on the sides, guys, those long pieces, those are 5.5 inches wide. 5.5 inches minus 1 inch for the piece of insulation that's on the bottom gives you 4.5 inches left. So I measured mine to be about 4.5 inches, and then I cut them. I cut them with this circular saw, and I just laid out the insulation, and I just made a long rip of the insulation with this. I could have cut it just with a little, like with a little hand saw or something. That would have probably worked just as well, but I wanted to get kind of a nice clean cut, so I used the circular saw. Now, you'll notice that the insulation on the sides here does not sit completely flush with the 2x6, okay? That's fine, guys, and the reason why that's fine is because the clear plastic thing that's going to go over the top of it right there, that's got a little bump ridge thing on it, so it's just going to go over this thing no problem. So don't be super concerned that this is completely level with this. It doesn't really even matter, okay? So after you cut down all your pieces, here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. See how this stuff kind of bumps up and in and then goes down? So this little bump part will go over this where it's a little bit higher, okay? So once you got all that stuff cut, then you're gonna grab some liquid nails, which looks like this. See it there, guys? That stuff costs like $2.50 per container. Okay, then you gotta get the little caulk gun too, and then you just caulk the back of just the ends. That one, and then the one that's all the way over here, okay? I did not caulk the back of this guy, the centerpiece. That's just kind of fit in there really good, and it's not going anywhere, okay? Let me say one more thing. When I was trying to put this big 4x8 sheet of foil in there, it was like really tight, and I was having to push it down, and I was afraid of cracking it. So what I did was I took an extra piece of strapping, which is this long piece right here, and I laid it in here diagonally, and then I pushed down on it with my hand, and that helped to kind of flatten out this bottom sheet of 4x8 1 inch polyiso that's forming the backing of the collector. Okay, so once you get those 4 sides in and the bottom, then you have an insulated box, and then you have to go on next to make what's called the absorber. The absorber frame is this piece of wood that I'm outlining with my finger, okay? Goes there, and then it comes right down this side there. You see that? That's the absorber frame, okay? Okay, here's what I recommend on the absorber frame. Okay, so the frame is going to put the screen's going to be put onto the frame, but first you got to make the wood frame. So I would get my 3 sheets or my 3 pieces of strapping, and the strapping looks like this, guys, and it costs 98 cents each at the home store. It's really, really cheap. Okay, and a lot of times with this cheap stuff, it's not going to be perfectly straight. It might bend a little bit, or it might have a little bit of a twist, or a little bit of a, you know, it might curl or something, blah, blah, blah. Just try to find decently straight pieces, and it's not going to be perfect, but that's fine. We're just going for 90%, okay? So once you have the box insulated, then go back and take measurements with your tape measure, and then go and cut the frame for the absorber, which is the inner part, okay? I tried to make the frame first and then go back and make the outer. I tried to make the frame from the absorber first and then go back and make the outer frame. Guys, I just wasted like an hour and a half going back and remeasuring and recutting stuff and making mistakes and blah, blah, blah. It just wasn't good. So with these projects, you're bound to have measurements that aren't perfect, or wood that's not perfect, or you're going to be off by a 1/2 inch or a 1/4 inch or 3/16 or blah, 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 blah. Just make the outside frame first, then put the insulation in, and then build the frame once you have the measurements for how big the frame actually can be, all right? Don't make the absorber frame first and then try to go and build the other stuff. You're just going to be wasting your time, in my opinion. Don't assume that each side is going to be the exact same length as, or the top and the bottom are going to be the exact same length. This stuff just gets haywire, and I don't even know why. These cross pieces, guys, that are right down here, I don't know if you can see that. These pieces are not just 46 inches. They're 46 inches minus the width of this piece over here, minus the width of this piece over here. So it's 46 inches minus basically 0.75 inches minus 0.75 inches. So this piece right here should be, 44.5 inches in length, because you have to accommodate for the width of the other 2 pieces that you're putting on the outside. So it's a little stuff like that might throw you for a little bit of a loop. And then the one last thing I want to say is sometimes when you're gluing the insulation to the exterior frame, the insulation might not be perfectly straight. So if you could, get some, I just took some extra strapping here, and I'm just trying to force it in there to kind of push the insulation against the frame, because I'm just trying to get that glue to grab against the side of the frame here. So